Back here on the Rush Hour Morning Show, AM 1450, 101.1 FM, WGNC, Gastonia, Charlotte, WGNCradio.com. It's my pleasure to bring on, for the Eastern Kentucky University Colonels, the first ever triple-double in the program's history, Isaiah Cozart. Isaiah, good morning. Welcome to the Rush Hour Morning Show.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's fantastic having you on the show. Isaiah, Monday night, inside of the arena, McBrayer Court, you get an opportunity to do something that's never been done by a Colonels player ever. And you do it in the most unconventional of ways. It's not like you guys were taking on a Division III school very early in November. You were taking on a Sun Belt Conference school in Troy University, and you blocked 10 shots in the contest. Isaiah, you've had a little bit of time to kind of process through what happened on Monday night. Take us back to Monday night and what was going through your mind during the course of that game.
Man, it was just, I knew after our two losses to UT Martin and Prairie View A&M that, we had to bring it. I knew that, we had to have lots of energy that game. And so I kind of, told myself, to make my defense fuel my offense. And so I, kind of resigned myself, that I was going to block as many shots as possible, help my team out as much as I can and on the defensive end. Not even worry about scoring, to just worry about, getting as many stops as we can and, getting the ball down the floor. And it definitely worked out, in my favor that night.
Isaiah Cozart here with us this morning on the Rush Hour Morning Show. Isaiah, the reality is, and it's interesting that we're getting a chance to talk to you in the way that we are, you started your career a Richmond, Kentucky native playing for Western Kentucky. And we're going to get back to the game to where you got the triple W against Troy, but you're going to actually be making the trip to Bowling Green, taking on Western Kentucky this weekend. What are some of the emotions that are already kind of going through your mind right now, knowing that you guys are getting ready to take on the Hilltoppers?
It is definitely exciting to, go back to Western and play them again, this year. But, I just mentally, I just want to treat it like, any other game, don't want to get too in my head about it. It's definitely going to be good to see, some of the guys that I knew really well, back at Bowling Green. But, at the end of the day, just want to treat it as any regular game and, just be mentally prepared for it, for sure.
Okay. Isaiah, one of the things that A.W. Hamilton, your head coach in Richmond at Eastern Kentucky, has brought in has been the 40 most exciting minutes in college basketball. When you hear that, how would you describe that to folks that have never been to a game inside Baptist Health Arena or McBrayer Court? How would you describe what it's like to be a part of the most exciting 40 minutes in college basketball?
It truly is the most exciting 40 minutes. When we get going as a team, we get going. Coach, he doesn't lie when it comes to that motto. For fans and, people that have never seen, a game at EKU, we're a fast-paced team. We get up a lot of threes, get up a lot of dunks, block shots. It really is exciting to watch. I know it is. I've had, multiple people come up and say, no team is more exciting than us when it comes to that. So, that motto, it definitely rings true for sure.
Isaiah Cozart here with us on the Rush Hour Morning Show. Isaiah, when you talk about this 40 minutes, the most exciting 40 minutes in college basketball, and you talk about some of your teammates, you've got the likes of Tayshawn Comer. Then, of course, you've got also on the roster Devontae Blanton. Of course, you make a part of that most exciting 40 minutes of basketball. even with Michael Moreno on the team, what are some of the things about this Eastern Kentucky club? It's one thing to say that it's the most exciting 40 minutes of basketball, and this is what the coach wants us to do, but you got to have the horses that can actually make it happen. What are some of the things that your teammates bring to the table that really make this such a dynamic basketball team and in such a dynamic atmosphere at Eastern Kentucky?
Oh yeah, I mean, all of my teammates give 100% out on the floor every day. I mean, it's a special group of guys, man. I mean, we got, obviously, like you said, Mike Marino, who's great hustler, hitting shots, hitting great three-point, amazing three-point shooter. Turner Buttrey, also an amazing three-point shooter. I think he pulled up from about 30 feet from the line and just knocked it down, just nothing but net. We got, of course, Devontae Blayton, who's just, amazing player on his own, and also a great facilitator. And, obviously we got our two sophomore guards in Leland and Tayshawn, who are great facilitators. And it's just the whole team, we all play as hard as we can, every time we step on the floor. And I think that's what really contributes to the most exciting 40 minutes. It's not just, the starting five. It's everybody that gets in the game. Everybody contributes. Everybody guards their yard. So I think when it comes to this team, in the whole motto, the exciting 40 minutes, I think we truly encapsulate that.
Isaiah, let me ask you this question, and you're right. Turner Buttrey did fire a shot in that game, probably shot it somewhere from around Berea, Kentucky, in that game against Troy. But when you look at this, I want to ask you this question. When you see Michael Moreno play, he's listed at 6'7". You're listed at 6'7", but your games are very dissimilar. Moreno likes to shoot the three ball from outside. You're around the basket a lot more. Let me ask you this, Isaiah. Michael Moreno sometimes can get into a zone shooting the basketball to where he simply can't miss. That happens for a lot of guys. Do you find yourself getting into a zone defensively to where you're just swatting shots left and right and you don't even realize that you're doing it? It's almost coming off effortlessly?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's definitely, timing to it, and there's definitely a zone you can get into, especially when they keep driving the ball inside. When they drive the ball, there's a lot to think about. Will he, shot fake? Will he pass? Will he, just go up? Maybe he'll shot fake and then go into you. But, sometimes, it's just when you get into the zone, everything just becomes a lot more simpler. You just block, and for me, it's just when it comes to block shots, I mean, it does sort of get to the point where it's just kind of natural where, we're blocking shots either, from the perimeter or, from, somebody driving in and, so I think, getting in the groove with block shots is definitely something that can happen for me, for sure.
Hey, Isaiah, you and Brian could sit here and talk about basketball all day long. I want to talk about something way more important than basketball. I want to talk about that sexy mustache you have. How long have you been grooming that thing? Good grief, man. That thing's hot. I bet you had that thing since the second grade.
Hey, my mom, she doesn't like it that much, but I like it.
You tell your mom I said I like it.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
Keep growing that thing out. Are you going to end up with some handlebars on it? You going to put a wax job on it? Or is this as big as it's going to get?
Oh, man, I hope it's as big as I'm going to get.
No, let that thing grow.
I can't do handlebars.
Yeah, let that thing keep growing. That looks good.
Isaiah Cozart with the stash here on the Rush Hour Morning Show. Isaiah, obviously, we had a chance to watch you last year as you made your way to the Levine Center to take on Queens University of Charlotte. The Atlantic Sun Conference, Eastern Kentucky is relatively new to the league, as new as Queens University, though you guys got there from very different directions. Obviously, EKU at one time was part of the OVC. Now that you're involved in the A-Sun, obviously the trips to Florida, that's obviously a perk. There's no question about that. But what do you think about this league, the ASUN, and what do you think about EKU's chances going into this conference year coming up in just a matter of weeks?
I think we got a great solid team this year. I think we're finally starting to, put things together and, really get the ball rolling, really start humming on the court. I think we have a good chance with the ASUN this year for sure. I mean, there are a lot of talent in the ASUN this year, a lot of good teams, but I think, especially because of all the preseason accolades and stuff that we got this past year, I think we have a huge target on our backs too. So we're going to get everybody's best game from here on, especially when it comes to when conference play comes around. So, but I have faith in my team and I have faith in the coaching staff to get us right. And I think we'll be good. I think we'll have a great chance.
Isaiah, taking a look at your schedule, you guys aren't shying away from anybody. The reality is you've got an in-state opponent this weekend we talked about against Western Kentucky. Next week, you're going to be traveling down to Greensboro, North Carolina to take on UNCG. UNCG beat Arkansas just a couple weeks ago. Well, Arkansas beat Duke last night. So obviously Mike Jones' club is going to have to be reckoned with. Then you've got your matchup on Sunday, December the 17th against Northern Kentucky. Isaiah, I really am wanting to try to come to that game because I understand just what those Kentucky rivalries along the I-75 corridor mean to the program. You've got a return trip to Troy coming up at the end of the month, along with a trip to Alabama to take on the Crimson Tide. And then you just happen to finish the calendar year with the number one team in the country, the Purdue Boilermakers, before you get into ASUN territory. How important is it for you guys, or how much of an opportunity is it for you guys to go in and play at some of these elite level programs, knowing that you can make a little noise even before you get into the ASUN?
Oh, it's definitely important. All the guys are hyped and all the guys are ready to give 100% on every game, this December. I think it's really, really special. And it was honestly really surprising to me, seeing the schedule and looking at everybody we had, and everybody we had to face. And, it's going to be a really fun month of December for sure. I think, definitely want to tune in to at least a few of those games because it's going to be a blast.
Well, I mean, and let's be honest. I know you've been thinking about this. On December 29th against the Boilermakers, I know you're going to want to give Zach Edey a little bit of the stash action. That right?
The stash action. Definitely.
Hey, I think I got something that might be able to work in Richmond. We can start working on this stash action thing.
You need an NIL deal. Put that thing on a T-shirt and sell it. Make a few bucks.
Stash action.
In terms of, I do have a good stash, but I can't compete with my teammate Michael Marino. When he gets his stash fully grown out, it's something different, man. I live in his image, basically.
But Isaiah, I mean, come on. He's got the flow. I mean, he's got the flow on top too. I mean, Michael Moreno has got the hair game going. But I mean, Isaiah, Come on, with the stash, man, look, you need to work on this. I think this is something that between Richmond and Lexington, Kentucky, I think you can take to market on the NIL. So just a heads up on that. Just think hashtag stash action, okay? Just go throw that out there.
I like how you think.
There you go. There you go. Isaiah Cozart, I want to thank you for spending some time with us this morning. Look, if it's okay, I'd love to have you back right before you come down to Charlotte to take on the Queen's University Royals. It'd be great having you on the show. And if there's anything that we can do down here in North Carolina to help push hashtag stash action, let's make it happen.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Isaiah, have a great one, brother. We'll talk to you later on.
Sorry, I cut him off. I cut him off too soon.
That's okay. That's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to take a break. We'll wrap up with that final segment. A great conversation.
Kind of makes me want to grow mine back out now. Should I do it? B-Rush? You got the little goatee action going on over there.
Give it a shot.
I mean, look, I hadn't shaved in like 4 days anyway. Why not? Got to start.
Yeah, I mean, You can't finish if you don't start.
Got Isaiah starter kit going on over
There
here.
you go. Stash action. We'll be back in just a bit on the Rush Hour Morning Show.